Hi, and welcome to Cherie's Weight Loss Journey. I had to come out and share some ideas. They just couldn't wait until I took my shower and got on my walk. Now, I'm going through, well, I've already went through my second Saturn return, right? I'm 63 years old. And, I had to review with my spirit guides, some of the things that has happened to me, you know, the the molestations, the men flashing me with their wands. I mean, there was a lot of them. People I didn't even know, strangers, just, you know, and I had to ask my spirit guides, why why were these strangers and molesters doing the things that they were doing? And one of the explanations that I got from one of my guides was, well, you know, a lot of men, want to feel empowered by their penis. They have been jealous that the gonads of the women, brought forth life. And they wanted to feel as if, their wand was powerful. So that is why, they like to put fear upon another person with their wand, right? If they come across, a male, they want to put that fear in that male, and then, take them by force. And they'll do the same thing with women, with the women, it's not fun if they have to beguile her or seduce her, then they feel like they're being weak, because their whole purpose was for them to feel like, their wand was powerful, maybe even damaging. And I'm like, but that's kind of crazy, And they're like, yeah, but if they can get a victim to believe that they're a victim and that they're actually been weakened by their wand, then that's what makes them feel powerful. And I'm like, wow, that's kind of insane, So something that was supposed to be for love and creation, they thought that, they could turn it around and make it into a weapon, and then that weapon was going to make them feel powerful. And they're like, yeah, but, they do this over and over and over, and they have all of these victims who feel like, they were violated by this person's wand, right? Because, there are different scenarios that can occur. Say you get violated. When you get violated, of course you can be fearful and, fight to the death. There's no victory in that. You can, overcome the fear that you have, and then, dust your shoes off and, and keep it stepping. It's just like, that wasn't that great, yeah, you violated me without consent, that will go on your spiritual resume, F you and go fuck yourself, right? And that's the one that they hate most of all, because they hate that one because the person that they thought that was going to be their victim not only was not their victim, but also appears to be the victor because they proved to the violator that their wand was not effective. It just wasn't. Whatever their intentions was, it was not effective, and, poo poo, let's go get the Pampers, and this person is now mad because they're starting to see that, all they have is just, a wand. Okay? And the reason why I felt like it was important to talk about this is because more and more people are coming out, talking about, their feelings and how their feelings had entrapped them in victimhood. When I think about the alphabet community, I'm like, oh, there's a lot of victimization here, and these are victims, that, are reveling in their pain when, they should have just, dusted their shoes off and, or, washed their face off and, kept it pushing. And I know a lot of people are like, well, what do you mean? Well, this is what I mean. You have some people who get involved in sexual activities, and they get addicted, or they get trapped or bonded, to these sexual behaviors. And these people have allowed whatever it was that, they felt at the time, was who they were. Or if they were assaulted and the person was telling them who they were, they accepted that as, the bondage of identifying with that, if you understand what I'm saying. Because if you'll see that these people who, accepted, okay, well, I'm just addicted to sex, I'll have sex with everybody, I'll just have sex with everybody, and it's like, yeah, but you're addicted to sex, but you'll have sex with everybody. Are you really addicted to sex? Or is there something that you're addicted to? Are you addicted to the chase, the conquest? What exactly are you addicted to? Because you could be addicted to sex and, be in a monogamous relationship with your partner, and you both, and hey, you got full supply at home. But why don't you? There's something else that you're addicted to. You got to go inward and find out why you're addicted to that. Now, of course, you have, society that's always pressuring us, through economics, through the social system, through our institutions, to be in partnership, right? Yeah, you need to be in partnership. And that's true for a lot of people. They do need to be in partnership, especially if, they have stelliums in one element or too much in another. They don't have all of the elements. It's best for them to be in a partnership, to be complete, especially a partnership where, they can both balance each other out. But a lot of people, they're getting into these partnerships that are imbalanced. They may have the right element on the surface level, but then if they look a little deeper and they'll see, the person that they thought had this element, it was actually, an inverted, element of that particular element. If you understand what I'm talking about, So, I had to come out and say something because I know for me, it's like, just a thought, because I philosophize all the time and I like to get on with other thoughts and philosophies. Um, Now, it's very difficult to get past your second Saturn return. A lot of people will say, okay, Saturn return, yay, 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 right? Well, the second Saturn return, you know, will go back all the way through your childhood. It won't just go to your previous, you know, what you did in the last 34 years. No, it's going to go through 0 to through 59 or 50, 60 or whatever, you know. And even when you get to that Saturn return, that's like 4 years of inquisition. And you may not come out of it. You may not come out of it. You might, but a lot of people, they just don't. And a lot of them, they will come out and they still will suffer, the karma, the repercussions, of what, has happened. Right? Because your first Saturn return, here you are about 34-ish, right? And you're like, oh, you're middle age, you got to push, you got to make the best of your life right now, you're optimistic, you got this do or die attitude. You kind of realized, some of the things that went wrong. You were able to tell, your spirit that, hey, you can overcome, the injustices that happened in your childhood. This is the time for you now to formulate yourself. And that's what I'm talking about. After your first Saturn return, this is where you have formulated who you are, yourself, right? Maybe it will be tainted by the stuff that has happened between, your childhood and from 0 to 30, 34, okay? But from 34 onward, you should have figured that shit out and decided to be who you really wanted to be. And sometimes who we think we want to be is not really a person that's good for society, right? So, yeah, I had to get on here and say this. I'm going to come back and we're going to go for the walk. Yeah, we're going to go for the walk. I woke up late today and, I have been, telling the universe that, I've been wanting to hear, these love stories, these so-called love stories of these people, I mean, I already know the love story of the young girls that get, beguiled and seduced and coerced, out of their homes before they're even ready to take care of themselves, with false promises from the man that, he's going to take care of them, and he sexes them up and then abandons them. I know about that story. But what I really didn't know about was, what had happened, amongst, these people that, well, let's not just say people, these young boys. What happened to these young boys? And it's starting to come out more and more and more how these young boys were molested as young boys, how they were, taunted and bullied and, and eventually attacked and forced into submission and probably even, had their, well, they were told they had their virtue taken away from them. Therefore, they could never be virtuous or never can be a real man, and then they were trapped in this mindset at an early age by other men. And I was like, okay, so it's not a love story, right? And then my thought was, well, why didn't they try to get away from these men? Why didn't they try to get away from these men that had bullied them and that had, punked them out, And it came to me that, they had accepted their place. They had accepted that they were trapped. They had accepted that there was nothing that they could do against the curse that these violators had placed upon these men. Anyway, I wanted to say that while it was on my mind, because of course, it's easy for me to forget about those things, especially once, I wash that shit off, and take my bath, and it's like, oh, it's a brand new day, it's so beautiful. Look at the sky, it's blue, it's not too hot. Man, this is the best time of the year I can ever think of. Anyway, I'm gonna come on and talk about my weight loss journey, because we all know that a lot of times when we eat, we're suffering from spiritual and mental and economic, problems. And that's why I talk about these things on this channel. Okay? Thank you for watching Cherie's Weight Loss Journey. And I will see you later. Bye. Oh, Snoopy wants to say bye. Yeah, she wanted to say bye. Okay, I am back. Thank you for watching Cherie's Weight Loss Journey. We're on our way to take a walk. Me and Snoopy, me and Pooh Bear, yay. Okay, so, I'm strongly feeling, a Neptune energy right now, right? And of course, my Neptune happens to be in Scorpio, right? And it wants to talk about, the deep, dark feelings of sex. Yes, the deep, dark feelings of sex. Okay, so you have these men out here that want to have a powerful wand, right? They want to do damage. They want to beat it up, right? Beat it up, okay? Because, in this world, they don't really feel powerful. And, we know. You try it once, it's like, ooh, you're so powerfully sexual, right? Then the second time, it's like, what happened, right? The second time is not better than the first time. No, it's not, right? And this could be problematic for some guys, right? Because then the next thing you know, they want to do experiments on you. They want to flip you over and turn you all around and, turn you into a pretzel and, and if that didn't make you feel some kind of way, then they want to bring out the tools. The tools? Yeah, the sex tools. Yeah, the sex tools. The sex toys. Okay? This is where they start venturing into an unhealthy relationship with wanting to wanting to have powerful sex, right? And so then, this is where, they want to cause you pain, and have sex with you at that time because they imagine that the pain that you're feeling is actually the sex that they're giving you. But, and I know that that's not true, Damn it, if you're pulling my hair, you think I can't connect the dots to where the pain is coming from? It's coming from my head and not my JJ? But you can't tell a distorted mind the truth, right? You can't, right? And it can even become problematic even if you have, say, a third leg, as we call it, right? We used to call them third legs, right? It looked like this dude had a tripod going on, okay? But anyway, that could be problematic because they already know. They got to warm you up, oil you down, and get you all ready. Otherwise, that snake is gonna shed some skin. Yeah, it's gonna shed some skin. And that's gonna hurt. Yup. So that's one reason why, a lot of times, the tripods, let's call them the tripods. That's one of the reasons why the tripods are a lot sweeter, a lot nicer, likes to talk that, that thing to get you in the mood. Because shit, if you ain't in the mood, it's gonna hurt, right? They don't want to be peeled like an orange. Okay? And yeah. So here's another thing that women, older women, they start realizing. They're like, oh my God, what is happening with my body? The lips of my JJ, they've been stretched out so much, it looks like I got the camel toes in my jeans, right? And a lot of them was like, we're gonna have to temper this. We're gonna have to temper this right now, right? They don't want their lips flopping all around. So, yeah. If you know what I mean, then you know what I mean, okay? If you know, you know. Okay. So, then that's when the older women are like, look, I just cannot, bounce back like I used to, we gonna have to have special dates, for me to get all warmed up and swollen up and juicy and stuff like that. Yes, that's what it's coming to. And he's like, what do you mean? So a lot of times in their insecurities, they'll try to go out there and find, a youngster, who might not never had, a tripod, right? And, he's telling her, hey, you think you can handle this? She's like, well, why, sure. I think I can handle that. And, and sometimes the young ones, they do get stigmatized. Yes, they do. They get stigmatized. right? And they start wanting to claim ownership upon that tripod and say, that's their tripod, can't nobody have it but them, and of course he's flattered now because he went from rejection to someone being possessive, and but that's still a young mind. It doesn't take long, for even the young mind, to say, okay, a tripod is just a tripod, right? Especially after they had that first baby. When they had that first baby, it was like, ooh wee. Oh, yeah. Tripod and a 10-pound sack of potatoes, they're not the same thing. That's why a lot of men, once the woman gets pregnant or has a baby, it's like they get put in their place, right? It's like, yeah, maybe she played along with, you being as big as the Eiffel Tower. But after that baby, she can't play that. She just can't. How? Right? I mean, yeah, the tripod and a 5-pound bag of sugar is not the same. It is not the same. Okay? So, getting back to what I was talking about, right? Men desperately, want to feel like their one is something special. And of course, women love to accommodate them. Yes, it's special. It's special. And they're like, well, worship it then. They had an anthropology exhibition that I had went to, and they had showed all of these phallics on the statues. And I was like, oh, isn't that cute? Wow. And yeah, what's up with that? Well, I mean, I know it's up, but I mean, why is it up? Because you gotta do a whole hell of a lot of imagining, to have one that stands up like a flagpole, not a tripod. Oh my God. Okay. I'm like, ooh wee, right? Now, that even goes, so far as to say that, if you got a man that is confident enough to allow you to measure, right? Get you a measuring tape, not the hard kind, right? No, get you one of those sewing measuring tapes, right? And because they're pliable, right? And just take all of the dimensions like you're gonna make it a sock or something. Or maybe a silicone replica. making a silicone replica. That was the most funniest thing. I didn't laugh out loud, but I was cracking up, rolling down, doing cartwheels, right? When one of my exes, they asked me, they're like, oh, what can I buy you for your birthday? I said, anything? And he said, anything. I said, do I have a cap on, You're like, well, it can't be that expensive. I was like, well, what's my budget? And it was like, well, what are you talking about? What is it that you want? Well, I said, I always have gifts in mind for every budget. Any budget, I have something that I can buy. If I ever had that kind of budget, I have a list of things, right? And he was like, okay, let's just say $100, right? So I was like, oh yeah, for $100, that's gonna be my birthday gift. Okay. Can we go to the sex store? And, oh my God, he was so outside of his own body, coming to me to the sex store and watching me buy a dildo. And he was like, what do you need with that? I said, what? Why you asking me that? Right? Because, I sort of thought that this guy was like, no novelty of, what that means. Huh? And oh my God. I promise you, after he bought this thing for me, he hid it from me. Yes, he hid it from me. I was like, dang, I can't. I even asked him, I said, hey, I can't find my dildo. I ain't even had a chance to give it a name yet. Right, but this is the thing that I want to talk about. See, now men will try to shame women for being comfortable with their own bodies. I remember when I was a young girl, and these men were like, you can't put a tampon in, you can't put a tampon in. I'm like, why not? Like, it's different if, you use tampons after you had sex. And my mind went straight to, oh my God, these men, they're so egotistical. They're even jealous of a tampon. I was like, what? You mean to tell me I can't wear a tampon because I ain't had sex yet and I need to have a pad? They're like, yeah. Oh my God. And I was like, well, you don't have to worry about that. I'll tell you, the fragile egos of the men, you better not let me get a hold of them. You better not. You better not. Okay? And it ain't like I'm trying to crush them. I'm just saying, it looks a little fragile. Your cup look a little broken. Okay. Sometimes I make myself laugh. Okay? And, my humor, when it comes to sex, oh shit. It's warped. It's warped. but not warped for me. It's warped for them. So, yeah. So that gets me to talking about this one guy that I was talking to. And he was a beautiful man. Oh yes, very beautiful. Oh my God, he was dark, chocolate, right? And he always liked to wear these blue contacts, and girl, the way he walked, right? But when it came to to length, he didn't really have a lot of length, but he had some girth. Yeah, he had some girth, right? And I was talking with him, and then I was like, based off of who you are, what do you like, right? So he told me that he liked, the anus of boys. And I was like, oh really? Tell me more. And he was like, yes, because boys and guys, they have strong glutes. And of course, the asshole is, it expands, and it also contracts. Very, very small. And he was like, the vagina, it kind of stays open, at least a little bit. And I was like, what? You know all that? And so anyway, I was like, thank you for the information. I'm gonna write that down, right? Got Metatron right here with me, and we gonna write it down. We're never gonna forget it. Nope. Yeah. So here's the thing, when men, start to want to be powerful according to, their lower extremities, right? They have to do a complete analysis and evaluation. Right? Can it fly like a flagpole? And can you move it up and down? Like a racket? I mean, yeah. So, men don't like you talking about their parts, right? But they talk about women's parts from time to time to time to time, and when they ain't talking about it, they definitely trying to see as many of the women's parts as possible, as if this is going to educate them to be able to maneuver into a woman's part without having to put no effort into it. I'm like, you're still gonna have to put effort into it, sweetheart. You just can't get around that. And the bottom line is, the reason why they don't want to put the effort into it is because, what would the effort be? Oh, they would have to be nice to the woman. Oh, they would have to be able to have foreplay. Oh, they would have to, be gentle. Right? Now, some of them, they like, I don't have to be gentle. I don't have to be nice. I just spit on it and make it wet. I was like, what? You gonna spit on it? and make it wet. Oh shit. I mean, spit on it how? Like licky licky licky? Or actual and I'm like, if you gonna have to spit on it, why are you even playing with it? Okay? Okay. I'm gonna have to cut Neptune off because Neptune is my Neptune is Scorpio. Oh my god. You gonna have to take a cigarette after this. Like, whoo. Yeah. So this is this whole discussion and the details. And of course, the devil is in the details about why men, want to dominate people with their wand, right? But, for this woman, it's like, I'm sorry, you can't dominate me with your wand when it was your whole body that had came out of my womb. Excuse me? You're the one that's racing to try to get back into, where you came from, which is my womb. Okay. Neptune, you gotta go home now. You gotta go home. Go home, Neptune. We want to talk about our diet. I've been having salads and protein drinks the last couple of days. I haven't been doing the walks because I've been doing other work, right? And sometimes, even this spiritual work can be draining, to say the least. Okay, even energy work can be draining. Yeah, energy work can be draining. And so today, I went ahead and slept in late, right? Because, been having these visits with Neptune. Yes, I have. I've been having these visits with Neptune. And, Neptune will tell you anything that you want to know. Okay? But I'm awake now. I did some chores around the house. This here is my second protein drink. I'll probably have, a similar diet that I've been having. I know you guys are probably wondering, well, show us your progress, Cherie, show us. And I'm like, sure, I'll show you my progress. Matter of fact, I'll get out right now and I'll show you my progress. Okay, this is my progress. 2 months in. Still quite a beautiful 2X. Okay. Hold on. So, the main reason why I'm talking about this today is because I am trying to remove the shame that sometimes goes along with having sex when you get confronted with a man that will try to brainwash you into believing that his one controls you, right? Especially the digmatized women or men, okay? I had envisioned, the type of situation that had occurred, when I had my talk with Neptune. And I was telling them, I'm like, okay, well, I know how this feels, when it comes to women, but what is going on with the men? And what goes on with the men is before the attack occurs, these men will have called their victims, words and names and, things like, they're a pussy, um, they, then they'll never satisfy a woman because, maybe, they don't have a powerful wand, a powerful big wand, right? Because they got powerful little wands, no doubt, right? And yeah, so here's the thing, you cannot hold on to the words that they had said. Now this was something that was thrown around a lot, and I didn't understand why, because I wasn't involved in that crowd, right? And you had these people throwing around these words like, yeah, they're gonna rip them a new one. Oh, like rip them a new what? Rip them a new asshole. And I'm like, oh, that's interesting. Why would somebody want to rip someone a new a-hole? Right? And of course, because, I never would have thought that people would do that to, hi. Oh, she's fine. She won't hurt you.
Okay.
I thought that was, interesting because, I never thought that it would be pleasurable to use, sex as a weapon. Right? My thought is, to try to use sex as a weapon, that's a lot of fucking work. Right? So, yeah. Who want to work just to be unsatisfied? I don't understand it. Anyway, hold on. All right. So then, to make it more clear, is instead of having a love tie, you're going to be creating a soul tie, right? I don't know who would want a soul tie. I just don't. But those people that want soul ties, I feel sorry for them. Because the soul ties, they can go on through like infinity. and beyond. Okay, so here we go. We're on our walk, right? And it's beautiful out here. Of course it is. Of course it is. And I'm feeling rather yeah. I'm feeling rather beautiful. Got it. Hold on again.